Good day, everybody. Our clients in Cebu and in Davao and also in Luzon. Uh, this session, I will discuss the admin side of our student management information system. I would like to present again. This is our home page. It's allow our users to log in. As you can see, there's a still login, the home page, about us, features, our product, pricings, and contact. Now let's start. I will first log in into my account. I created a simple admin account and in the user ID and password and log in. Okay, so this is our main page for Student Management Information System admin, where faculty and staff can set up all information needed to interface with the students. Needed information to set up about the schools, how the grade levels, how the subjects will be defined. Okay. For today, I will discuss just the overview about our admin facility. Okay. First, it is divided into different sub-modules according to its structure and importance. First is the academic structure, which composes of academic institution, department, and subdepartment. I will not discuss further about this, but just to give you a highlight of an academic structure institution, this is where you will set up your institution or school information. Okay, this is where we put the logo of our client. Like for example, this client is Isidore Labrador Child Development Center Incorporated. We have a logo, the address, then you can also put the email address, the phone number, and the website. Now, departments and sub-departments defines the departments that are being created, identified by the school or used by the school, like math department, accounting department, register department, just for purpose of recording and the use in relationship to other configuration. Okay. Next sub-module is the academic configuration. Here in academic configuration, this is where support staff or the non-teaching staff will set up the preparatory information in order for the school to start using this application. Now, every year, we call it a school calendar, so we need to define school calendar here. Now, as you can see, there's a default school calendar. It is selected for 2020. Next year, it's 2021. Then next one is the school activities. This actually represents the list of activities for particular school calendar. Then another one is an important item. Before a school can start using the system, we need to set up all the grade levels recognized or offered by the school. Now, as I mentioned in my previous presentation in the overview of the self-service, we just not just simply offer grade schools or the K to 12 program, but our system is capable of handling colleges and universities. But our main focus right now is the K to 12 program that covers elementary and the secondary, also the senior high school. Okay. So you can see here uh, to senior high school, you have kinder, nursery 1, nursery 2, and also grade 1 to 12. Okay. Now, for groups and organization, these are the groups recognized or introduced by the school. Groups, academic and non-academic groups, the, the students can join with, okay, as learning, part of their learning requirements. Right? Yeah, the scholarship program, these are the recognized scholarship programs offered by the school or offered by other institutions associated and linked and recognized by the school. Then we have the facilities and room. So this is where we set up all the rooms that will be used as classrooms or teaching classrooms. Like, and you can also define here further information like room type classroom, laboratory, library, and you can also define here if the room condition is with air condition, with CR, with ceiling fan, with wall fan. Okay, then you can define the room rules usage. Next module, we'll go to the personal management. This is where you set up your personal information. Now, this will set up all the personnel, non-teaching and teaching faculty members. You can actually upload a picture. That's actually some sort of a profile that you will give to the user and basic information. Then you and if you're using this application as personal page and you will be assigned to input or modify any information of the personnel. You can also see the user ID. Okay? In another presentation, I will also discuss the importance of the user ID in our security, uh, how our security is being built and how our security being managed. Okay? Then we have the faculty organization. This is in relation to the academic configuration, which is the organization and groups and organization. Here in faculty organization advisory, you define who will be the advisor or advisors for each of the recognized group organization, academic or non-academic. Then we have the subject, facility subject, faculty subject assignments. This is where we assign the specialization of the faculty, what subjects they will be teaching or they will be, they are called as SMEs or subject matter experts. Then let's proceed next, the fourth module, which is the student administration. I will not go deeper into these items because our focus right now is to introduce to you the concept on how the data or how the exams and materials, learning materials are being managed, the information or the facility that I presented in my overview for student self-service. Okay. Later on, I will be creating another instructional materials for each of these items, for each of these, sub-modules. Okay. Now, for student administration, this is student information. We divided a filter based on first letter of the last name so that our page will not be overpopulated with information, a lot of rows of information. Then you can just simply look for students with first name, easy access. Okay, so for example, this one, B, Bruce Banner. Last name is Banner. And you can see the LRN number, ID number. Then likewise with basic information about the students, the student address, other information. Then you can also see, you can actually put a picture. Now, like for example, the presentation ID that I use in my self-service um, overview material. We we use Romanov Natasha. So example this one. This is the picture that was seen or displayed in your self-service. Okay, let me show you that one for a while. Just hold on while I copy this information to another browser so that you can see the difference and how the information is presented in self-service. Okay, I will share another screen. Hold on. Let me do this. Okay. Now here you can see on my screen. I will log in now to Romanov. Now, this is a self-service. This is where you can see the pictures. Okay, the picture I mean of the student named Romanov Natasha. Where this is being set up, let me show you. Okay, this is where it is being set up. So a faculty member or an administrator of the school or for example, a registrar can set up student information with each picture. Okay, you can also see the user ID, student ID. Just in case the student forgot its user ID, then the administrator can provide it. And I will discuss further how the user ID and password in a separate presentation. Okay, we'll move to student admission. Student admission, this is where you define when the student was admitted to the school, what school year, what school calendar. Okay, let me go back first. So process one, there's this where school calendar as set as default. Then there's an information, there's an active, okay, documents presented. Let me adjust my page. Okay, it's not 100%. That's why the display or the fields are being distorted. Okay, okay, this is where you set up the admission date when the student was admitted to the school and what type of student when this student was admitted. Is it a new student or a transferee? Okay, then active, then what grade level was the student was admitted. Okay, then if there's a school, the last attended school, previous school attended, then we'll put this one. For example, University of Cebu. City of Cebu. Okay, then Cebu City. Okay, that's being saved. Now, this next item is student scholarship. What's a student scholarship? Student scholarship, as I mentioned a while ago in the academic configuration, there is a student scholarship program, and here is a student scholarship. So this is the facility where you define the students that were applied or with a scholarship program. Then basically discounts and fees for with scholarships will be defined further and recognized in student financials. Okay. Then studying student group organization, this is still another related to the another item that we discussed a while ago, which is the organization. In here, economic configuration, you define the organizations offered by the school. In the personal management, we define the advisory that will be assigned for each organization, the faculty advisory. Then here, the student administration, this is admission. I mean, this is where we define the student groups or the list of students that will be associated or that will be a member of the student groups organization. Okay. Now, next we will discuss about student organ record. This is where we will discuss further how students can access the learning materials and exams. For now, we'll discuss that. Well, I will focus on that, but we will first discuss about student enrollment. I will just show you how student is being enrolled. Now, as I mentioned, student admission, this is where the date, the year, the grade level when the student was admitted, but it's not yet enrolled. When you enroll the student, this is where you associate the with its current grade level, school calendar. Then also this is where you define the class section of a school. Now, since I mentioned that we cater and we handle up to grade 12, now let me show you a sample enrollment, a sample filter using grade 11. Okay, I have no student. I will try to add one student, for example. Now, as you can see, there's a core subject and this is also an applied subjects. Core subjects are the basic subjects actually implemented for grade 1 to grade 12. And then for applied subjects, there are only the specialized subjects for grade 11 to grade 12, whether it is academic or techno-vocational. Okay? Mm, okay. For subjects and the applied subjects. Okay. You can also print the list of students that are currently enrolled under the currently selected or defaulted calendar year. So in order for you, our users, for our teachers and faculty and teaching staff, not to be bothered every time we go to the next module, next page, we put a setup that is for the calendar year. Okay, and here's a list of the students, a sample list of students enrolled on the enrollment day. This will cover everything, section grade 1, section grade 2, and so forth. Now, I will go directly with this online enrollment upload. This is in corresponds to our other module, which I will also be discussing in a separate presentation, which is the online enrollment and or admission. Okay. Then the online enrollment will be uploaded here in by the faculty member or our registrar, and it will be auto enrollment, auto admission. I will discuss that separately. Okay, let's proceed to enrollment setup. Now, enrollment system setup is where you define your day schedule, your schedule time interval, the subject definition, the list of subjects, the schools that are being offered. The class subject schedule is the schedules where every subject you define the specific schedule in relationship to the day schedule and the schedule time interval. Then we'll this class section, this is where we create the section where the students will enroll or select. Okay, I will not discuss this further for now. It's just I just give you an overview what we have here as a config part of the enrollment configuration. This is enrollment setup. Now let's proceed to the highlighted items, the subject learning materials, and the exam questionnaires. And we also have a subject exam ratings for faculty. And then first is learning materials. Now, learning materials is also organized by the year, the grade level, and the subject. We have here YouTube learning material for a mother tongue. This is where we define what type of material. Okay. YouTube learning material. This is a type as YouTube. We also support PDF, videos, Word, and others. Okay. Then duration, we define also the duration time, allow the students to watch. We are required the students to watch the material. Then the completion date. We also included the status. If it is still active or inactive, then we consider this as publish or draft. Draft is the teachers can first create a draft testing, and once published, it will be published and appear in our self-service. And the link is our embedded link of the video. We do not retain videos, physical videos, but we just simply maintain the link. Here's an example of a preview, the YouTube material. This is the YouTube material that I presented in my first overview for the self-service. Okay, this is how you set up your material. Next, how we set up our exam. Okay, we have here, you need to select a faculty. Now, I can select a faculty because I am an administrator. I can see the list of faculties, but if the user is not an administrator, then just simply select the grade level and the subject. Okay, and here's a created exam. This is an exam one testing, for example, for subject mother tongue. Then we have the number of items, to grade equivalence, total points, passing rate, and we also implement the for real-time posting, and if the exam will allow us for accept late exam students or on-time exam only. Based on on-time exam only, we also put an exam date, which is August 1, for example, and also we can put a time limit for the exam. Okay? This is part of what I discussed in my other video, that is the overview for the self-service. And we have also the online and manual exam type. This will actually covers, as what I mentioned, that not everybody, not all students have access to internet, and they have actually an option for a blended learning, which is uh, where the materials will be sent, hard copy materials will be sent to the students as part of the modular approach. And but we can still upload. So for example, if materials will be given to the students when they take the exam, if they can have or matter of they will have an access to an internet cafe or people around them with internet, they can just simply screenshot the answer and upload it. So the teachers or school faculties and students will no need to come to school or will have a contact just to submit a close contact or just to submit a document. Answers will just simply be uploaded and the teachers will just simply check the answers through online. Okay. Now, how we will add the questions? So we have manage questions. Okay, this is where we define the questions for that particular exam, the exam 1 testing. Now, for example, this one. Since we are dealing with grade schools, specifically for nursery, kinder, and grade 1 up to 3, most of their exams and learning materials are with presentations, with graphical presentations. For an exam with a capital representation, this is a good example with an objective type question. Okay. This is where they put the illustrations. Okay. Okay. So here we can see that, let me check first. This is not so related questions. Let me check how many letters. We'll select another exam that is more related to the questions, and we can put some documents. Let me check first. Hold on. Actually, I set up this one for mathematics. Okay. This is where we manage. Okay. So this first question, how many more books did Carla? Okay. Let me change that picture. Okay. How many more books did Carol read than Daria, I mean. Daria is 2, Carol is 8. So basically the answer is C, which is 6. Okay. Now, also here in the selection, in the exam, you can choose what type of exam. You support essay, others objective is basically A, B, C, D, E, F. The questions are being multiple choice. And for AC, we will allow the students to answer and discuss uh, answers and others. Also, we allow students to put a discussion of the answers, like for example, mathematical computations, where we also allow the students to upload the answers. Okay, let me show you. If, for example, it is others, we have an option of upload document. Yes, if you put on yes, then we will allow the students to upload the document. Okay. But for now, this example is objective. This is where we can see that we can upload a supporting materials. I mean, for the exam questionnaire. Then we define the exam answer selections. Then we define the correct answer. And this one is we can also define if answer is none of the above or all of the above. These two will not go together in one question. It's either none or all of the above. By default, it is nothing. Okay. Okay. So that's all about student records. I will just give you a highlight of the student financials, but I will not discuss it. Will be discussed in a separate over presentation material. And we have in the student financials here the student assessments, the payment refund, and the financial reports. Okay. Then reading, we have also grades and recognition. This is the grading system where we define grading system set up for the key to 12 transmutation grade and the preschool grading setup. Then we have the awards and student recognitions where they define the awards and recognition setup, student ranking and student awards. Now, for the reports, we actually highlighted one of our big features, our flagship features of our product is the faculty e-class record, a DepEd format, where the teachers can easily populate data into the Excel class record mandated or formatted by the Department of Education. We also support a report card generation where the students' performance for every semester, for every quarter will be generated. So it is still also in an Excel format defined by DepEd. Then we can also provide a certification for certificate of student grades. And basically for printing requirements for printed materials, we we offer a customization for the period of 1 month where we give you a specific client, or you will define your own formatting, your own reports. Okay. Then we have the structure and security. This is where we set up a user profile. I will discuss that in a separate video also. And so everybody teaching staff, non-teaching staff, students will have will need to have to create their own user ID with password and verification. Yeah. And data references, this is where we set up the provinces, cities and municipalities, barangays, religions, citizenships, and the designation as for the personnel and faculties. Okay, we tend to set up everything so that it's up to the client what data they wanted to see, what data they wanted to use. So we are trying here to develop not just a simple website or not as just simple web application, but an ERP or enterprise resource plan software that as much as possible there will be no hard coding, no use of calling the programmers, no use of calling the support team. As long as can be configurable, then can be done by a simple user. Okay? Now, when you click home, additional features, I will talk now about additional features we have here in our system. We have the home, favorites, and logout. Now, home is like, for example, you are opening one page and you wanted to go back to the home page, you just simply click home. And home also, okay, this is our design. Now, basically, this presentation here, the buttons or the button-like presentation is not just simple presentation, but it's also a shortcut to the menu. Like for example, when I click this pull-down icon, it will go to the academic institution. It will navigate you to the academic institution page. Okay, that is how simple our application. Other features, we'll first go back to home. Another feature that we have is the favorites. This is where you set up your favorite videos. Like for example, I'm usually using all the time. I'm using let me student information. Okay, I can put that as my favorites. Add to my favorites, and now I can see that under my favorites. Now, first, for example, let's go back to home. And we will navigate now to my favorites. If you see this one, favorites, it will go directly to my student information page. So you can just simply list down by adding the pages that you wanted to be part of your my favorites. Then that's it. You have a shortcut. You don't need to navigate to all of these items. You don't need to memorize the navigation links. Okay. So so far. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed our discussion and hope you gain some knowledge and you will be gain more interest with in using our student in management information system. Thank you and good day.